you guys use the term realtor pretty thoroughly. There is a very large difference between a realtor and a real estate broker.
Oh.
We did not know that.
Educate us.
So a realtor is a member of the National Association of REALTORS. You can be a real estate agent and not be a realtor by not paying your NAR dues. NAR, National Association of REALTORS, acronyms. But realtors, they have a code of ethics that they're supposed to stand by, which really in our area doesn't make any difference because 99.9% of all real estate brokers in Josephine and Jackson County are realtors. They're not just real estate brokers. There's a couple that don't pay their dues just because they don't do any business. So it's like, why pay the $400 a year to be a realtor is the word. But it's, as a realtor, that code of ethics is the most important part of it. I mean, that is the big thing. But I mean, the term realtor is used as like Kleenexes for tissue paper. I mean, it's that's just the term used for a real estate broker now is realtor, but that's actually not what it is. It's a member of the National Association of REALTORS. But so
this guy was still shady.
What's that?
This guy was still shady.
Regardless.
Agreed with all of that.
This person is definitely still, and there are people out there like that. And I think that that's one of the points of this podcast also is that I want the public, if they're paying attention and watching, I want them to understand that there is a better version out there for them. Like they just don't have to call any random person. Like there are good people out there doing good business and doing a good job and protecting their best interests. And there are good lenders out there who are doing the same thing. And there are good appraisers out there who are out there trying to do a good job and actually provide a good value. And I'll use the story, and I don't know if you remember this or not, but my sister-in-law bought a duplex on N Street in 2016 maybe. And I think it was the first appraisal that I ever had with you. And fortunately, I was friends with Dan, and so I knew about you already. But your appraisal came in $5,000 low on the value. Yeah.
First I've heard of it.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason we got asked in here today.
No.
To confront
Why did that happen that day?
No, but this is the point. This is the point that I'm trying to make. I called you. I said, Debbie, you can submit, these are my comps. I got the report from my sister-in-law, from Dan actually, because he did the loan. And I looked at the data and the data was right. And I get it. You're the expert. I called you up and I said, hey, is there any other way, what can we do to do this and this and that? And you told me, you said, Daniel, I looked at everything I could. I know we're $5,000 low. I get it. I understand it's frustrating. It's minuscule. I get it. But I literally cannot find $5,000 more value in the property. And I said, okay, Debbie, thank you. And I went and we negotiated it out in the deal. I think we ended up splitting it or whatever. I think my sister-in-law came up with more money, or half of the $5,000, $2,500, and the seller came up with the other $2,500, or lowered her price by $2,500. But the point I'm making is that, and we talked about this with Vanessa on the podcast, you cannot call another professional and scream at them because they're doing their job. It's one thing to be not even. Let's just say there's another appraiser out there who's just, they suck. They just really did a really bad, you look at their report, there's mistakes, there's other comps out there that could be used. You cannot just call them and scream at them and call them an asshole or call them stupid or do whatever it is and expect it to turn out well for you.
Right.
That's just not going to happen.
For this one or the next one.
Right.
Yeah. That's the problem. We're going to remember who you are.
Yeah. I don't understand how people can think that by screaming at somebody, they're going to be like, oh,
okay,
you're right. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for calling out my stupidity. Get real, people.
Right.
You need to call and be a professional and treat those people with courtesy. Hey, did you consider this? Okay, maybe not. And maybe that person on the other side is combative. That's what you have to deal with, and then you have to figure out another solution. But you cannot just call them and be ridiculous, because one, you're going to have to work with that person again. And imagine if I would have called you and been Debbie, that's ridiculous. This is, you can't fight, you would have never looked at me the same way ever again.
Right.
And how many of these have we done together?
A lot.
Countless. Like, well, not countless. I'm sure I can count them, but I'm not like this guy. I can't like count my deals here. I can't count my deals, but anyway.
Well, I think it's not only how you interact with that individual, but you're asking the appraiser to draw a line in the sand to take a stance. In my opinion, if you're coming after somebody like that, then you're wanting them to double down on why they did what they did, as opposed to exploratory, looking at options and say, hey, you know what? I'm human. I'm fallible, right? That's the response that you want to get. Like, maybe I missed something. What am I missing? And I think you do that the most is, what am I missing here, right? You came up with this value. You guys got this contract or this home under contract. I'm not seeing it. What can you provide me to help me see it better?
Well, I had one not too long ago with one of my favorite female realtors, brokers.
Real estate agents.
Thank you. We did this property together, a double wide out in the country, and I came in short, and she called me up and she goes, "What happened?" And I said, "It's 1,100 square feet. There's not a lot of wiggle room." She goes, "Well, did you know it had this and this and this and this things I didn't know about because I couldn't see it? They drilled into the walls and added insulation in the interior rooms. They did all kinds of extra things. They changed out all the I hate that word.
Polybutylene.
Thank you. They changed all that out. They changed
We need
out
an acronym for polybutylene.
I know.
PV piping.
Yeah, here we go. They did a lot of things that I didn't know about because nobody told me. It wasn't on the listing. The realtor didn't meet me out there. There was no details. Sometimes the realtors will put a list of details as the attached documents on the MLS page. Thank you, Daniel. Those are the kind of things that make a difference in value. And if we don't know those, so I revised my report and I was able to, I actually came in high over sales price after coming in short.
Yeah,
because
that's cool.
there was a lot of things. And I have no issue looking over my appraisal again if there's something that I missed.
Yeah.
Right.
But to Daniel's point, if you come in and you act unprofessional, you're taking that ability or that desire for you. You may have to at some point, but you're taking the desire that you want to help that individual out.
Right.
I think
Right.
that's the really important thing.